Well, Paul, let's switch gears here. Let's go back to the corporate high-level corporate side. Can you just maybe update us after the financing? Update us on the capital structure here, and then if you can, share any major shareholders at this point.
I'll answer the last one first. Bill Sheriff would be the one to be closer to know the major shareholders. We have some good, loyal, I would say significant shareholders, and some of whom participated in that most recent financing. They have a lot of support for us, but as far as the details on that, I don't have those details. I apologize for that. As far as our capital structure, I believe and I'm going off memory right now because I don't have it sitting in front of me, but of approximately 195 million in outstanding shares. And I think we have a total of 224 million fully diluted, after the private placement. So I think our share structure is pretty well. We got a few warrants out that haven't been exercised, but most of those are in the money now, and as well as a few options as well. So, that'll be, when those get exercised, we'll get some more revenue coming into the company. So I don't know if I answered your question, but I did my best.
No, it's fine. And I know that there's at least two major institutions there, obviously one of them being Power One Capital, which is there is a strong one. Major shareholder that, of course, is not reporting, but nonetheless a pretty significant and important partner on that front. Now, at one point, I don't know when it was, but Sachem Cove Partners was listed as a major shareholder. They're not there anymore as listed as a major shareholder, but do you care?
Well, obviously, I have a lot of respect for Mike and Tim. Having their support is always a good thing. So, I say I do care because I just respect those guys, but it's not, we don't see it, from my perspective, whether, they have their own investment decisions they make and where they want to put their money. And obviously I believe they've made good money on their investment in enCore, particularly over the last, since last fall or late summer, well advised to take those profits. So, but do we need them going forward? It's really up to them. I think that we're okay where we're at and where we go forward. But, I go back to that story about, wanting to prove yourself and, needing to demonstrate results. I think when enCore's, we're actually showing that, although I've been able to demonstrate we are executing on our plans, but show that the results of that execution, I think that we may see them become, maybe they'll become more visible, et cetera. I just don't know. But like I said, I got a lot of respect for those guys. They're true believers in the uranium markets, and I've had an opportunity to spend time with them. And you have to earn I want to earn their ownership if they choose to.
Absolutely. There's a lot of factors to that. Whether it's Smith Weekly owns shares of a company or has recommended a company, or it's Sachem Cove or Sprott, any of these other companies. And I have respect for all of these groups, certainly for Mike and Tim. No secret there, obviously. But just because they're not listed on a roster, it's irrelevant. It really is, because number one, there may not be a reporting requirement. They may be a shareholder and don't have to report. You don't know what size they have.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just because it's not recommended by Smith Weekly doesn't mean it's not a good or bad company. It doesn't mean anything. So the whole point of, oh well, we got this, and this, that doesn't matter. Obviously, there's a disagreement. Power One's still a shareholder. So to me, Paul, I don't go out and look for a brand name on a share roster to make my decisions. I don't agree with half the stuff that Sprott does. Are they a good capital allocator? Absolutely. But do I agree with everything they do? Absolutely not. So if you're just scanning shareholder rosters in this sector, you're not doing enough. You're doing yourself a disservice. And no disrespect to any of them, but just because they're not on there or they're not talking about the company doesn't mean anything to me. You got to dig deeper. You have to bring in a lot of components. There's a lot of pieces and parts to this. I remember the days when enCore was 2 cents, 2.5 cents. Matter of fact, I had it. I owned it. Again, there's lots of different components there. We'll see. We'll see at the end how this all comes together. These horses and jockeys are still banging around in the gates, inside the stalls. The race has barely started, and the finish line is a long ways away. And how each of these companies performs to that finish line, because we're all going to be able to witness it as long as we're still alive, we're going to be able to see how this all ends. And so I think people need to be careful about just going around and, well, if Sachem Cove doesn't own it, we better not touch it. you know, or Smith Weekly doesn't own it, we better not touch it, or Sprott or any of these other companies, Power One, etc. Take that with what it is.
Right.
Yeah, you know, come on.